treatment. Don't panic, Sophie hasn't had a face transplant, but she is living it up in America. So I thought I'd take the time to come and do my first Q&A. So some of you may have recognised me off previous photos from previous videos from hairdryer treatment. The last couple of videos that we've uploaded I've been involved with. So it's just a chance for me to come on here. You can get my views, not just Sophie's. And yeah, we'll just have a quick Q&A, just see who's about, what you want to know about me. I'll give you a few details so it's not just some random stranger on these videos anymore. Hopefully you'll see a lot more of me actually on the channel. So we'll get started, and I have tweeted a couple of times about going live, so people have asked me questions. So if I look down here, you could have got a link to Twitter. So I'm going to go back to all the questions that people have asked me on Twitter. You can ask me a question here. Hi Peter. And we'll just yeah, Sophie is living it up in America in a 6-bedroomed all-en-suite villa with pool, jacuzzi, you name it, that villa's got it, whereas I'm stuck at home. So cheers, Soph. Hope you have a really fab time. So back to the questions. Is this so? No, we're just friends. We're not related. I know people have said this in the past, that are we sisters? No, we're not sisters, unfortunately. Just family by choice, because she's like my best friend. So that's it really. So I'll start by actually introducing myself. My name's Meg. I've known Sophie for the past couple of years now. We play football together. We've become friends through football. Yes, I am a Man United fan too, which probably means why we're actually friends, because that's what our friendship's based on, football. So friends through football, both support Man United, and just formed a really close friendship through that. So yeah, our relationship's been built over the past couple of years, and we have got a third member of the group. She hasn't been on the channel as much. Maybe one day she'll be on here, Glove, I'm talking about you. With Sophie and I have always said we'd have loved to play for Man United women's team. When we were kids, it's probably both our dreams that we always wanted to play for Man United. Both being supporters from young, imagine that feeling of being able to play for the team that you got actual childhood dream. Obviously, well, for me I'm just too old, so there's no chance, unfortunately, for me. Soph's probably got more of a chance. So yeah, I'm just unfortunate really that it just happened way too late for us. However, I'm excited that they've managed to bring out a women's team. I thought it was something that we were lacking as Man United as a whole. A lot of other clubs in the Premier League have teams, fund teams, support them, and it's just great that Manchester United now have been able to include that into their stature, because I think it's such a big thing for them to be able to introduce a women's team. And to be honest, it's looking like it'll be a really good season. The players that they've got in, very excited about the players that they've got in. They've got a young talent mixed with senior players who know the game, have experience at the highest level playing for England. So I'm pretty sure we'll do well. Probably go. I would like to say straight up to the Super League really, rather than just Championship. Soph is in America. She's in Florida. She's having an amazing time. She's landed safely. She's just left us all in England. But have fun, Soph. Peter. So Sophie plays central defensive midfield, and I play as the most attacking centre half you'll probably ever watch. I did ask her to take me with her. I asked her to take me with her. I'm still here. Didn't happen. A bit disappointed. I'll discuss my pre-season in a second. It's not probably been the best because it hasn't really started for me yet. Injury has ruled me out, and it's the first time in a long time that injury has ruled me out. I have played through injury for probably the last 2 months of the season last year, and unfortunately it got to the point to me where I couldn't walk. I was having to take time off work because of my injury. So I made a sensible decision for once to miss the start of the season to try and get myself back on track. I have, however, been given the green light to train tomorrow. So potentially my season is about to start tomorrow. The girls at the team we played for at Calcer, I got their pre-season underway with a 3-2 win on the weekend, so looking good. So question wise, a lot about Man United, which we'll be talking about, a lot about myself and Sophie as well. So we'll start by transfer news, because that has been a big talking point about Manchester United at the moment. The lack of transfer news, I should say. Am I worried? Yeah, I am. The fact that nothing been going on. On Instagram, we're saying the boss has got things planned. I hope there is something planned, because if not, I think that'll backfire on you, really, because you need to say you've got something like that being hidden, whatever it may be, it needs to be something big, because at the moment with the lack of transfers, I don't think fans are excited for the season. I don't see fans looking forward to the season. I see a lot of negative statements on Twitter, and I think that's not good. That's not a good start for us. We need to be excited about what the season's going to bring. I'm excited to see the players that have played in the World Cup go back to United, and I'm hoping that we had the likes of Lukaku on form in the World Cup. I thought he was dominant for Belgium. His pace and his strength against teams really impressed me, and I'm hoping that he brings that to Man United. Pogba, I think he grew into that World Cup. He's one of them players who plays with flair. He plays on the edge of being everyone's favourite player to everyone's worst player. He is either one or the other. He's never that middleman, and it's a shame, really, because I think when you have games where you are on form and everything you do is brilliant, you set a standard for yourself, and when you can't live up to that standard all the time, it's hard. I would love to see Pogba absolutely smash it this season, given the fact that he's had so much hate, especially off some pundits, no names Graham Souness, but I'd like to see him really press on this season. He could be one of the best Manchester United players we will ever see in a Man United shirt. In my opinion, I just think he is an extremely talented footballer when he wants to play. But other than that, with the lack of transfers that are going on, I just don't see the excitement, which is a shame. But there is still time. I'd like to see it move a little bit quicker. I think, has Malcolm been announced at Barcelona yet? But if he hasn't, I think that's going to be pretty certain that he'll go there. And that's been done within, a couple of days, if that. I don't see why Man United have to just drag transfers out. There's rumours, not rumours, not rumours. Personally, I'm not sure who else who I would definitely want to see in a Man United shirt. Perisic, everybody goes on about him. I don't really feel it myself. I don't know if that's probably like a minimal opinion that little people have, because I don't agree with it, but see it, and there was loads of talk about it, loads of different people, and I'm just thinking, don't really see it. So we'll see who comes in. I don't want to panic buy. I think the majority of the players that we've got, if Leicester can win the league with the players that they had in that season, we should be able to win the league with the players that we've got this season. And the players that we have are quality. There are some very talented players. So is it the players or the style? Who knows? I'm just trying to keep back up with all these questions that came through. No, I haven't got the new jersey yet, Brandon. I would like to. Although I'm not sure which one. If the pink one is definite, then potentially the pink one would be there for me. Who would you like to see come in if there's any more signings? Like you said, to be honest, I'm not sure who I actually want. I think everyone's banging on about a left back, short or young. Should one of them leave? I'm not sure. I actually quite like Young. I think he's an experienced player. I think he's a senior player. I think he's got experience at the highest level. He's been with Man United. He knows the style of play. Okay, he's not amazing. He's never going to be world class. He's not going to be the best left back in the world. But at the moment, there are so many. There isn't many choices of left back. Well, I don't see how many left backs that are world class is very minimal. So I think at the moment with Shaw and with Young we'll be alright. I'm just checking back on questions. Alderweireld or Maguire for you? I don't know, you know. I think after his performance at the World Cup, Harry Maguire has set a standard for himself, and I'd like to see him maybe move to Manchester United. Alderweireld, I think he's got a bit of an ego, just like with everything that happened with Spurs last year. You know, he just decided not to play, he was injured, there was a bit of tension between him and the manager apparently. Whereas I think with Maguire, you get what you see. He is just there to play football. He's not got no drama with him. He's solid at the back. He seems like he should be good on the ball. I think he's got improvements to be made, but we'll see. Why worry? I'm not building with youngsters, just like the class do. Need to be patient. That's what I mean. I don't want to panic buy with anybody. And yeah, I think you're completely right. Everybody said in 92, oh, you can't win anything with youngsters. They went and proved them wrong. I don't think panic buying would be any good for us. I think it would probably upset the camp a little bit with a panic buy. And I think the talent that we've got, like I said, at Manchester United, they are talented players. The youngsters are very talented coming through as well. So I think I totally agree with you, just being patient and see what happens. But I do expect Manchester United to buy at least one more player before the transfer market finishes. I'm just checking through. I have a really boring job, you won't know about it. It's not as fun as exciting as a teacher. Is Sophie at United trials? No, neither one of us went to trials. Are you a better footballer? That's a question that I had on Twitter as well, between myself, Sophie and Glover. Who plays better? Who's the better footballer? We all play different positions and we're all differently talented in our own ways. If there was a heading competition, I would win. Sorry Soph, sorry Glover, but I would. I play football with my head the majority of the times. If you want a ball pinging, you go to Glover. She's on corners and free kicks. Soph's probably the most confident on the ball with it at her feet. It kind of like sticks to her at times. She kind of just goes through players. I don't, honestly, when I'm not a player like that, I kind of just get the ball out of my feet and I just run with it. Sophie gets the ball and it sticks to her feet and she manages to get through players. I bet Sophie's a better footballer than you, probably. You'll have to go and watch us one day. So yeah, it's one of those. I'm better at heading, Glover's better at pinging a ball, Sophie's ball sticks to her feet. Like she just gets herself in a situation and then will get herself out of that situation quite well. Sophie's the late tackler as well. She's the one that gets the yellow cards. And if we're going on who scores the most goals, in the past 2 years, out of the three of us, I've scored the most. So, girls. I can't decide which name and number I want on the back. It will be my first night shirt. And I reckon, get your own name. Use it. Just wear it with confidence, like you actually play for Man United. You must be a striker then. I'm not. I'm a centre half. I just go up for all the corners. And I told you I play football with my head. So I score all the headers. Do you think signing Sanchez was a mistake? No, I don't think it was a mistake. I think potentially he came at the wrong time. I don't overly like January signings because it's mid-season. I think players are in the middle of trying to find their feet. I think that's when camp gets upset a bit, because when you've got such a big player as coming in like Sanchez, it can look like the whole thing with Martial started when Sanchez came. He was flying. Let's not forget that Martial was flying before Christmas. Sanchez came in and it kind of disturbed the fact that he was on top form. He was one of our players of the month on numerous occasions, or was at least nominated on numerous occasions as well. Sanchez came in and kind of upset that. I'm not saying that he was the problem. I'm saying I think he started games when he shouldn't have started games because he wasn't playing. I think Martial should have got more of a chance and more of a look in. And I think because Sanchez was signed afterwards and we wanted to use him as big, this fanfare around Sanchez coming into Manchester United, that we thought, oh, we'll just play him after game after game after game. Even when he wasn't playing well, we still started him, which in my opinion is wrong. You've got to earn your place in the team. He wasn't playing well. Martial was playing well, and therefore Martial should have started, in my opinion. But I'm not Mourinho, and I don't get that choice, unfortunately. Who gets the most red cards? Soph got a couple of yellows last year. None of us got red carded. We can't afford to get red carded. We have to pay our own fines. When Bristol City knocked Man United out last season, were you cheering? No. So there was a tweet off Sophie actually, and then on my Twitter it does say that I have a soft spot for Bristol City. There are links in my family back to Bristol City, and therefore they do have I have a keen interest in them. I think as a championship side, they will be my top favourites. I've followed them a couple of times, been to Wembley to see them, been to Bristol City, been to Ashton Gate to see them as well. Once they've knocked Manchester United out and got out of the sadness, I hope they were obviously going to progress, and I think when they played Man City, obviously I think every Manchester United fan became a Bristol City fan. They've got some really talented players as well, but yeah, they just have a soft spot. I follow them, I keep up to date with them, but when we played each other I was hoping that Man United would have won, but that was not to be, unfortunately. Thanks, Kev. I think, like I said, with Sanchez, I don't think it was down to him. I just think when you've got such an intention coming to you with your signing to a club, I think the club just overpowered it and just thought, we'll just run with Sanchez. And it was the wrong thing to do. I think he should have earned his place a little bit more. Just because you're a good player doesn't mean you should start all the time. If you're not playing well, then you don't start, for me. I'm just flicking back, so sorry if I've gone really quiet. I'm just making sure I've covered everything else on there. So just going off some of the questions on Twitter. What was your first match that you watched at Old Trafford? I was so young that I actually can't remember my first ever match. I do, however, remember going to watch Man United versus Chelsea there, and Gianfranco Zola playing, and I was amazed. It was just incredible to watch as a footballer. And I went to George Best's testimonial against West Brom, and that will forever go down in one of my memories. It was so moving. It was just powerful, the whole game. Man, it was just a lovely atmosphere. But the whole outside of the stadium covered in flowers, covered in memorials to him, that's something that stays in my mind. So though the best player I've ever seen at Old Trafford against us is Zola, and that game really stands out in my mind. I'll drop all my social media links either in the comments, or you can find them on Twitter. It's all the same links, so once you found one, you'll find them all. So I'm just going through. There's a lot of questions about Man United's transfer news. Like I said, I think we should be patient. I think the youngsters coming through are really good. We haven't had the big players come back from the World Cup yet. I'd like to see them bring the form back from the World Cup into United. So we just got to be patient, really. And when we had LVG, we won every single pre-season game, and then we lost to Swansea. You can't take anything from it. You literally can't. I don't want LVG back, no thanks. What would you say was the reason for so many of our players underperforming last season? Oh, is it just a connection between the players? I think the style of play as well is, it was slow, it lacked pace, it lacked direction, it lacked that intent to be forward. It was, we'll go to the side. There wasn't that creative flair in the top third for my liking. I like to see players get at the defenders. Okay, you might lose the ball sometimes. Get yourself back and work hard and go get the ball back. But other than that, I mean, I quite like the formation of a three at the back. I think it gives you so much more attacking options. So playing four at the back, I think with the defenders that we've got as well, we don't have the potential at the moment to play three at the back. So we can kind of see why we don't do it. But I would like to see it. I would keep Rojo, Luke Shaw. I'd keep Ashley Young at the back. Who am I missing? I'd sell Smalling. I potentially would sell Jones. He's a bit of a utility player though, isn't he? So we can kind of always keep him there just in case. So I would like to see that formation. You can't just throw three at the back and say go on out. I think if you see the Paul Potter will back to Manchester United in that like mentor the younger ones. I see Mata as somebody who really mentors the younger ones. I think you've then got the solid leaders in Lukaku. I think Valencia. I think Matic would drive people forward. I see Sanjay on Twitter, during Wenger's time at Arsenal, were you Wenger in or Wenger's still in there, if I'm honest, with the way that we're going? Is the best competitor. I hate Arsenal. Who's the better footballer? We've done that one. Why are we obsessed with players, right-footed players playing on the left? We need the gig side. Totally agree, but obviously the majority of footballers are right-footed. I'd like to see a Patrice Evra style left back. There just isn't that talent around in huge amount of numbers, so it's a hard one. Do you just try and build on somebody like Luke Shaw who has the potential, or do you say, do you know what, let's get rid of him and try and find someone who's already at that level? Not overly sure. Who was better at free kicks? This is off Twitter from Peter. Who was better at free kicks, Beckham or Ronaldo? Ronaldo. His style is just, I don't know how you be able to crown. I can't kick a ball like that way. Who's your favourite player of all time? The partnership between Vidic and Ferdinand was probably one of my favourite partnerships at Manchester United. I'm not saying they're my favourite players of all time, but it's my favourite partnership. I'm just finding the last few questions off Twitter, just so I make sure I include everybody. So I hope this is going well for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you missing me? Like 20? Is that alright? 21? And Sander says, is Jose the problem, or like me, do you feel like the problem is the board? A mixture of both. I think there needs to be a better connection between them two to make a club work. Because I think if you have a manager and a chair and owners who don't get on, you see it at Chelsea, Abramovich rules the roost. The managers in, out all the time. That connection between and partnership between the manager and the board, that needs to be, they need to have the same goals, they need to be on the same understanding, the same page. I don't think that's there at Manchester United at the moment. I don't think it's one of them, either one of them. I just think together they need to adapt and bring it up to themselves. And finally, who do I think will win the league this season? I don't really want to say it, but I think our next door neighbours potentially have the prowess to go and do it. Their attacking force is unbelievable. I really don't see Liverpool going with it, so not them. Potentially, and I don't see us winning it at the moment, not unless we bring anybody else in. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to say Man City, although I don't really want to. Sorry, everybody. And on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up. Soph and I have met and we have discussed future videos, so keep your eyes peeled on hair dry treatment. We will be bringing you new content, bringing you Q&As, live videos, future videos. So we've got a little plan of action. Keep your eyes out on both our Twitter, on YouTube, and I will link all our social media links in the comments below so you can follow us on there, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I'll hopefully be able to get online with Soph while she's away. We're hoping to maybe on Instagram do a dual video on there. So you can catch us on there, catch us on YouTube, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks for joining in. Bye.